I had a young woman this past year who's ending up going to Northwestern, and she's really not sure if she wants pre-med or policy, politics, even English she loves, but what she knows is she loves doing research. So she did science research, she did some history research, and she just knows that she loves research. So when she did her Y school essays for Northwestern and Michigan and Wisconsin and Indiana, she talked about the fact that she just has very varied academic interests, but what she does know is she just loves the process of digging deep and looking at primary sources, and that's fine too. Who knows what she'll do with it? But now they can get an idea of what she'll look like when she comes to their campus.
And that's a very good segue, because the next part is, for many schools that do value research, it's important that even if you don't know if you want to do research, to have an idea of something that could interest you or something that you want to do. And so how do you find that? And this is often where kids struggle, and it's not anyone's fault. It's just that they make it sometimes challenging to find it. So one of the things that a good way to start is to go to any college's website and then just Google within the website undergraduate research in X. Another way is to search by department and by the faculty research interest if you're just not finding anything. So I'll show you an example. And we just use Michigan as an example. We know not everyone's applying there, just because we thought it was just easy to show. So there's a lot of schools that have what's called UROP, Undergraduate Research Opportunity Program, and they want to know that you've actually paid some attention to it. So Michigan actually has made it a little bit easier for you to do that. They have sample projects in all of their schools, in all of their particular areas. So let's say you wanted to do something in, something in the social, let's do arts and humanities. Let's say you want to do research in arts and humanities, because most people think of science as research, but that's not the only place. So these would be some sample items of what students have done in that particular area. So if this is interesting to you, you could read them and you could say like, oh, that's kind of an interesting thing. I never realized I could do research in that way. And you can make a connection to something that aligns with your own interest of what you want to do. So in Michigan, they had this particular research opportunity for aerospace engineering, and then they list all of the faculty members that are involved with this. So that would be another way to get at it. So you might click on Anouk Girard, and you can see what her background is. You see the classes that she teaches. You could see her biography, see if there's anything interesting. Sometimes they'll give you the faculty research that they're doing, see if it's something interesting. So it's a lot of digging and kind of finding something that connects with you. And it doesn't have to, you don't have to have more than one thing. Find something that connects with your overarching story and then make that connection. That I'd love to do research with Professor Girard, because I've been, let's see, what does she do? She does, okay, I've been a pilot. I'm getting my pilot's license. I'm really interested in the drag and how that impacts the way that airplanes are created or designed. And I would love to get involved with her research because it would dovetail with what I'm doing in the class that I took last summer. So something along the lines of that. So you're making those continuous connections with what somebody is doing at the campus to show that you're going to be contributing. Yeah, so that's really the idea.
I can give an example of what a young woman from last year said at Michigan. Was she had been doing some science research all through high school about Parkinson's, and then she did this summer program where she went to Central America, and she realized that the testing resources there were so much less developed. So she kind of wanted to do some research someday in basically diagnosing diseases or illnesses in sort of developing countries relative to in developed countries, and identifying what the gaps are and easy things that could be done. So she kind of just came up with that in her head. And in the public health school at Michigan, there was actually a female professor who was researching exactly that. So you can imagine that what she wrote as her story was, I want to be a doctor or a science researcher. I've been doing this for years. I'm really invested in studying Parkinson's. It turned out that her uncle had it. And then I was fortunate enough to go with school on this trip to Central America, and I just saw that if you have Parkinson's there, the world is such a different place. So I'm interested in learning about diagnostic tools around the world, and Professor so-and-so is doing research in that. That's super interesting to me.